Good afternoon. My name is Dan Scripps, Chair of the Michigan Public Service Commission, and I call this meeting of the Commission to order on December 17th, 2020 at 1:30 p.m. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Chair Scripps.
I am present and attending remotely from the village of Northport in Leelanau County, Michigan.
Commissioner Talberg.
I am present and attending remotely from Ingham County, Michigan.
Commissioner Phillips.
Present and also attending remotely from Ingham County, Michigan.
Mr. Chair, you have a quorum.
Thank you. We are holding this meeting remotely using Microsoft Live Event. It is compatible with all browsers except Safari. Telephone relay service is available through the phone option. If you are participating via the live stream, you may also turn on the live captions by clicking on the closed caption or CC button in the lower right corner of the screen. During this meeting, we will call out participant names before speaking to support those listening only by phone or using relay service. As indicated in the notice for today's meeting, if we lose connection, the Commission will be in recess. We will attempt to re-establish a connection, but if we are unable to do so within 30 minutes, we will adjourn. Decisions made prior to the disconnection will be binding. Other business will be handled at a future meeting. We will not recess or adjourn due to technical issues experienced by individual members of the public. The meeting will be recorded and available for future reference on the Commission's website. In addition, the Commissioners can receive comment via mpsc_commissioners@michigan.gov. For reference, this email is also included in the Q&A feature on the live stream event on your computer and in the meeting notice. If you have intermittent internet service, you should consider listening to the meeting via telephone, not the computer. So if there is an interruption, you can avoid missing part of the meeting. Another option is to watch the meeting through your internet service with the sound muted and then listen to the audio from your phone. Please keep in mind the video feed has a slight delay while the telephone line is in real time. We will have an opportunity for the public to make comment as provided in the agenda. A few notes about this. Comments should be limited to one per person and can be made verbally by calling in or in writing via the live stream Q&A feature. If you are participating via Teams application, you can use the Q&A feature and type your comments in the box anytime during our meeting, and we will have those queued up to read. The Q&A function should be used to request technical assistance or to submit public comments directed to the Commission. If you would like to make verbal comments, you must call into the meeting by phone. And to minimize disruptions, attendees will be muted until we reach the time for public comment. The first order of business today is the approval of the agenda for today's meeting. I recognize Commissioner Phillips.
Thank you, Chair. I move for the approval of the agenda for today's Commission meeting.
I recognize Commissioner Talberg.
And I second that motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve today's agenda. Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
Commissioner Talberg?
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote, and the agenda is approved. The next item of business on the agenda is approval of the minutes from the December 9, 2020 Commission meeting. Commissioner Phillips?
I move for the approval of the minutes from the December 9th, 2020 Commission meeting.
Commissioner Talberg?
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the minutes from the December 9, 2020 Commission meeting. Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
Commissioner Talberg?
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote. The Commission meeting minutes of December 9, 2020 are approved. The next item of business on the agenda is the approval of the orders on the consent agenda, and today the Commission is assisted by Staff Attorney Jana Bachman. I recognize Ms. Bachman.
Good afternoon. Today's consent agenda consists of 6 communications matters, 2 electric matters, and 1 gas matter. The proposed orders and minute actions for these matters have been thoroughly vetted by the Commission's technical and legal staff and are ready for your approval.
Thank you, Ms. Bachman. I recognize Commissioner Phillips.
I move for the approval of the orders and minute actions on the consent agenda.
Commissioner Talberg?
I second that motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the orders and minute actions on the consent agenda. Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
Commissioner Talberg?
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote. The orders and minute actions on the consent agenda are approved. Ms. Bachman?
Item 4A1 is case number U-20743, which involves, on the Commission's own motion, an order for Anthony Martel doing business as Martel Cable Service to show cause why it has not complied with the requirements of Public Act 480 of 2006. The order before you orders Anthony Martel doing business as Martel Cable Service to pay a $1,000 fine for repeated violation of Public Act 480.
I recognize Commissioner Phillips.
Thank you, Chair. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20743.
I recognize Commissioner Talberg.
Second.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
Commissioner Talberg.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20743 is approved. Ms. Bachman.
Item 4B1 is case number U-20697, which involves an application filed by Consumers Energy Company for authority to increase its rates for the generation and distribution of electricity. Staff member Ryan LaRue will describe this order.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. On February 27, 2020, Consumers Energy filed an application with the Commission to increase its rates, amend its rate schedules, and rules governing the distribution and supply of electricity. Intervention was granted to 18 parties in this case: Michigan Cable Telecommunications Association, Michigan Environmental Council, Natural Resource Defense Council, the Sierra Club, the Citizens Utility Board of Michigan, the City of Grand Rapids, Michigan Municipal Association of Utility Issues, Association of Businesses Advocating Tariff Equity, the Kroger Company, Walmart, ChargePoint, Environmental Law and Policy Center, Boat Solar, Solar Energies Industry Association, Great Lakes Renewable Energy Association, the Ecology Center, Michigan Energy Innovation Business Council and the Institute for Energy Innovation, Midland Cogeneration Venture Limited Partnership, Hemlock Semiconductor Operations LLC, the Michigan State Utility Workers Council, the Utility Workers Union of America, the Residential Customer Group, and the Michigan Attorney General. The final record in this case includes nearly 5,000 pages of testimony and hundreds of exhibits offered for consideration in the Commission's decision making. In its initial application, Consumers Energy sought an increase in electric rates of $254 million, concurrent with a request to terminate the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act Calculation C credit on January 1st, 2021. As noted in the company's application, the primary drivers of the incremental rate request are the need to replace and modernize its distribution system infrastructure that is nearing the end of its useful life, and also to help the company take steps towards achieving its internal clean energy goals by eliminating coal and reducing carbon emissions to achieve its net zero goal by 2040. Among other drivers in the case was the company's request to increase its authorized return on common equity from 10% to 10.5%, along with a request to maintain a 52.5% equity ratio. The order before you authorizes Consumers Energy to increase its rates by $100 million above previously approved rates in the settlement agreement in case number U-20134. This amount represents approximately 39% of the company's initial request of $254 million. The authorized rate increase will support necessary capital spending for the company's generation and distribution system and help ensure that customers have continued access to safe and reliable electric service. The order also authorizes the company to terminate its Tax Cuts and Jobs Act Calculation C credit, consistent with the Commission's September 26, 2019 order in case number U-20309. The termination of Calculation C credit has a rate impact of approximately $36 million to customers. In total, the order authorizes the company to increase its rates by $136 million starting January 1st, 2021. Other findings in this order include the following. The company's authorized return on equity is lowered from 10% to 9.9%. The company's equity ratio is set at 51.11%, in line with the previous commission guidance on this issue. The order acknowledges consumers' agreement to voluntarily raise its distributed generation cap from 1% to 2% to allow for continued participation with customers installing distributed generation such as solar and to be paid for its excess power to the grid. The compensation to customers for this excess power, known as outflow, will be based on the utility's full power supply cost less transmission, using the inflow-outflow methodology previously approved by the MPSC during the implementation of the 2016 energy laws. The order provides for increased investments in electric distribution system to improve reliability and address aging infrastructure, including tracking mechanisms to account for actual spending on hard-to-predict reactive capital programs such as new business, and subjects these programs to additional reporting and stipulations. The order increases authorized annual vegetation management spending to shorten trim cycles, reduce vegetation caused power outages, and improve distribution system reliability. This program will also be subject to additional reporting protocols for the MPSC to monitor the impacts of this incremental spending. The order approves cost recovery for demand response and conservation voltage reduction investments reviewed and authorized in the company's integrated resource plan. The order approves the company's proposed EV fleet pilot, Power My Fleet, to support grid management in light of the potential for growth in the EV market with a focus on fleet electrification. The order approves a new rate for Hemlock Semiconductor, in line with the requirements set by Public Act 348 of 2018. The order calls on NPSC staff to work with consumers and stakeholders on changes to street lighting tariffs to accurately account for the operational performance, costs, and benefits of conversions to energy-efficient lighting technologies. The order also directs MPSC staff to work with stakeholders on updating methodologies for determining payments and credits to new customers wishing to connect to the utility's electrical system. The order provides further commission guidance for the company's 5-year distribution plan filing in the summer of 2021 to refine forecasting models using advanced metering data and to consider performance-based metrics associated with distribution system investments. Lastly, the order outlines the Commission's vision for examining both the costs and benefits of distributed energy resources in the context of how customers with DERs use the grid now and into the future. This vision starts with a comprehensive DER impact study to be undertaken in 2021 in line with Senate Resolution 142. Consumers Energy is authorized to implement these rates and requirements approved in this order on January 1st, 2021. Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, Mr. LaRue. Thank you for your work and the staff's work in this. Commissioner Phillips, do you have a motion? Commissioner Phillips, I believe you may be muted.
You're on mute.
My apologies there. Thank you, Mr. LaRue, for your presentation there, and I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20697.
Commissioner Talberg?
I'll second that motion.
Is there any discussion on this order?
I do have some comments I would like to make, Chair. As Mr. LaRue noted, included in the order today is an expansion of the company's ongoing Power My Drive program through the approval of a new 3-year electric vehicle pilot entitled Power My Fleet. The $12.2 million program continues the Commission's support of utility investments in EV infrastructure under a make-ready model and complements the existing Power My Drive program by focusing on rebates, capital expenditures, and the grid management barriers and solutions related to the adoption of electric vehicle fleets. The order today also does not require a carve-out within the pilot program for the electrification of the company's fleet vehicles, but does request that the company include such a proposal in its next rate case. The pilot program, as discussed in this order, will continue to lay the foundation for the state's growing EV charging network while providing much needed learnings and analysis on the challenges to be encountered as the deployment of light and medium class EV fleets by the private and public sectors continues to accelerate. Secondly, the order also provides further clarity in regards to the expectations of the Commission related to the company's advanced metering infrastructure, or AMI, investments. The order opposes the company's contention that continued fulfillment in future rate cases of AMI business case requirements set forth in case U28322 was unnecessary because the associated investments had been fully deployed and implemented. Although the company may have completed installation of AMI technology, the ongoing exploration and implementation of the full range of company and customer benefits of the AMI program necessitate the continued filing of an AMI business case in future rate cases, not in perpetuity, but for this foreseeable future. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Phillips. Commissioner Talberg, do you have any comments?
I do. Thank you, Chair. I have a couple comments about tree trimming, capital investments, and then just more generally some stats that I wanted to share about rate cases before the Public Service Commission. In today's order, the Commission's reinforcing its commitment to tree trimming. And these sustained vegetation management efforts are necessary to improve public and worker safety and to reduce power outages. We know this has a material impact on power outages if you trim the trees. Consumers Energy's focus on tree trimming the past few years has positioned the company to continue to scale up these investments, so I'm encouraged by this progress. I also want to highlight the increased capital investments to support reliability of the electric distribution system and address aging infrastructure. We know we need a reliable, resilient grid that can integrate new technologies and withstand extreme weather. This order sets us on that path as Consumers prepares its second comprehensive distribution investment plan that's due to the Commission in 2021. So these investments in this rate case, particularly focused on the distribution system, leave me encouraged for the future that customers will receive the service they deserve. I do want to turn to just talk a little bit about rate cases in general. This is the 33rd rate case in my 7.5 years serving on the Commission. Let me just restate that number. So 33 rate cases. I don't know if it sets a record among states in the country. These are specifically for energy utility rate cases. 10 of these cases have been for Consumers Energy gas or electric, and 8 are DTE cases. Major companies, billions of dollars at stake, and extensive discovery, audit, and other processes to review the proposed investments, expenses, and financials of the company. We've had an average of over 4 cases per year during this time, but what we've actually seen is more cases recently, and they are without question increasingly complex. And this has been extremely challenging with the 10-month statutory deadline and other responsibilities facing the Commission. I, think of what the staff have put in, over the course of this year with this pandemic, with converting to remote hearing processes to support these cases, and individuals working to advise the Commission and prepare the order over the holidays. Today's order is almost 350 pages, and the underlying record is about 5,000 pages. So I'm encouraged, though, in our order today, we call for continued exploration of performance-based metrics, and I think the chair might speak to this more specifically, but I do think that could provide a foundation for a new regulatory approach that achieves the goal of ensuring necessary infrastructure investment in a timely manner while providing fairness and accountability ratepayers deserve. And I really want to, again, acknowledge the parties to the case. Judge Wallace, she has worked on many rate case orders prior to becoming an administrative law judge, and that definitely was illustrated in her artful proposal for decision that the Commission considered, and just all the staff that are involved in this case. And thank you, Chair, for the opportunity to share these thoughts.
Thank you, Commissioner Talberg. With 2 weeks left, we might be able to squeeze in a 34th, but maybe we'll let you go with this one. I would also like to make a few comments on the order before us before we vote. First, echoing some of Commissioner Talberg's comments on the importance of reliability investments, the order before us would continue to support needed investment in consumers' distribution infrastructure and vegetation management in order to increase reliability and reduce both the number and duration of outages. It also provides further guidance for consumers' 5-year distribution plan to be filed next summer, including, as Commissioner Talberg noted, the development of metrics associated with distribution system performance. Enhancing reliability and reducing outages remain priorities of the Commission, and this order and the work to be included in the next set of distribution plans will help ensure that we continue to make progress on that front. And with that, I would also echo the praise for the staff, for the parties, and to Judge Wallace, and we can move to a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
Commissioner Talberg.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20697 is approved. Ms. Bachman, back to you.
Item 4B2 is case number U-20889, which involves an application filed by Consumers Energy Company for a financing order, approving the securitization of qualified costs. Staff member Jill Resnack will describe this order.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. On September 18, 2020, Consumers Energy Company, Consumers, filed an application pursuant to Public Act 142 of 2000, which allows electric utilities the option of reducing their costs through the issuance of securitization bonds. Securitization is a process by which a utility, following the issuance of a financing order by the Commission, replaces higher cost debt and equity with lower cost debt in the form of securitization bonds. Consumers' application seeks a financing order authorizing the issuance of securitization bonds for up to $702.8 million in qualified costs. Of this amount, Consumers indicated $691.2 million is related to the unrecovered book value of its Karn Units 1 and 2 coal-fired generating units planned for retirement in May 2023, plus $11.6 million of initial other qualified costs. The company expects customers to save about $126 million in total as a result of the securitization. Consumers proposes to reflect these cost savings to customers by providing customers a bill credit once the bonds are issued and will continue until rates are reset in the next completed rate case. By law, securitization cases require a 90-day deadline for a Commission order, and as a result, the Commission read the record in this case. Several parties intervened in the case, including the Michigan Department of Attorney General, the Association of Businesses Advocating Tariff Equity, Citizens Utility Board of Michigan, Hemlock Semiconductor Operations, LLC, and jointly the Ecology Center, the Environmental Law and Policy Center, the Solar Energy Industries Association, and Vote Solar. The Commission staff also participated in the proceeding. The order before you makes several findings, highlighting some of the Commission's main findings. The Commission approves Consumers to include up to $677.7 million for the unrecovered book value of Karn Units 1 and 2 to be recorded as a regulatory asset and recoverable by Consumers through securitization bond issuance. The order removes $13.5 million from the amount requested, as these investments had not previously been reviewed and approved for rate recovery by the Commission. The Commission approves up to $10.6 million as initial other qualified costs associated with the cost to issue and service the bonds. This amount was reduced from the $11.6 million requested by Consumers based on testimony presented in the case. The Commission finds the securitization charge shall be applied as a uniform per kilowatt hour charge within each rate class. The initial securitization charge shall be placed on customer bills beginning with the first billing cycle after the issuance of the securitization bonds expected to occur in April 2023. These amounts are subject to subsequent true-ups as directed in this financing order. The Commission approves an 8-year term for the securitization bonds. The Commission finds that Hemlock Semiconductor Operations is subject to the securitization charge and also finds a bill credit to HSC would be inappropriate. The Commission does not adopt HSC's alternate bill credit proposal. Lastly, consumers will file a report within 30 days following the receipt of all or any portion of the proceeds from the sale of the securitization bonds and quarterly thereafter until all bond proceeds have been dispersed. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Resnick, and thank you for your work and the work of staff in this matter. Commissioner Phillips, do you have a motion?
Thank you, Chair. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20889.
Commissioner Talberg?
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion on this? Commissioner Phillips?
Thank you, Chair. I would like to first thank interveners in this case for providing a robust record for which we could base our decision, and I thank our staff and the team within the Commission office for the painstaking due diligence necessary to evaluate the proposed securitization by the company during a compressed case schedule. One of the more contentious issues in this case was the length of the term of the securitization bond issuance. The order before us adopts the company's proposal for an 8-year term, as this time frame is supported by the financial markets and provides $62 million in savings, or a 53% reduction in total interest payments by customers when compared to the proposed 14-year term. Furthermore, the shorter term length will limit intergenerational inequities on ratepayers and avoid customers having to pay costs related to these long retired generation assets during a time when needed investments in clean energy, grid modernization, and other infrastructure programs continue. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Phillips. Commissioner Talberg?
Thank you, Chair. I just have a couple, just in terms of context, this proceeding was called for as part of Consumers Energy's approved integrated resource plan that accelerates the transition to clean energy. We've had a number of states just in the past couple of years look to Michigan as a model for using low-cost securitization financing to address the early closure of coal plants and bring about cost savings for customers. And, I'm just pleased to see this order being issued in this manner. It reinforces the Commission's use of this financing tool and facilitates consumers' implementation of its clean energy plan to move to net zero carbon emissions by 2040. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Talberg, and I appreciate your comments and those of Commissioner Phillips and your leadership, both in this case and in previous securitizations, as you note that we are gaining a reputation as a state that uses these tools well, and would note, in addition to helping to facilitate the ongoing transition in Michigan's generation fleet, the order before us provides for more than $125 million in savings along that path, and that is significant, substantial, and helps ensure that as we continue this transition, we do it in a way that is cost effective for the ratepayers. And with that, we will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
Commissioner Talberg?
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20889 is approved. Ms. Bachman, back to you.
Item 4B3 is case number U-20922, which involves a joint application filed by Upper Michigan Energy Resources Corporation and Michigan Gas Utilities Corporation for ex parte approval of revised tariff sheets to comply with MCL 460.10892. The order before you approves the application.
Thank you, Ms. Bachman. I recognize Commissioner Phillips.
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20922.
Commissioner Talberg?
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
Commissioner Talberg?
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20922 is approved. Ms. Bachman?
Item 4B4 is case number U-20932, which involves an application filed by Consumers Energy Company for ex parte approval of a one-time voluntary refund. The order before you approves the application with those conditions set forth in the order.
Commissioner Phillips?
Thank you, Chairman. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20932.
Commissioner Talberg?
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
Commissioner Talberg?
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20932 is approved. Ms. Bachman?
Item 4C1 is case number U-20925, which involves an application filed by Semco Energy Incorporated for ex parte approval of revisions to the first natural gas rate book. The order before you approves the application.
Thank you, Ms. Bachman. Commissioner Phillips?
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20925.
Commissioner Talberg?
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
Commissioner Talberg?
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20925 is approved. The next item of business on the agenda is the year in review for 2020. And as with so many other areas of our lives, the COVID-19 pandemic response dominated the Public Service Commission's work in 2020, as the MPSC staff transitioned to working remotely to ensure that the agency's mission of energy and telecommunications regulation continued uninterrupted. Indeed, the MPSC staff was among the first state agencies to fully transition to remote work, and it didn't miss a beat in tackling critical issues during the pandemic. The Commission worked with energy utilities and other state of Michigan agencies to help expand protections and assistance for vulnerable customers, and these efforts included ensuring that more than 3,500 disconnected households had their service reconnected and directly linking 41,000 low-income customers to energy assistance. We also helped ensure that $162 million in federal low-income home energy assistance program funds were distributed broadly, with an additional $35.1 million Congress made available to the state through the CARES Act federal pandemic stimulus. We also worked with Connected Nation Michigan and other state departments to develop a statewide map of free Wi-Fi hotspots to assist families who lack affordable or accessible high-speed internet at home. And I particularly appreciate the leadership of Commissioner Phillips in that effort. In addition, we also marked the first year of the My Power Grid initiative we launched last fall in partnership with Governor Whitmer to maximize the benefits to Michigan residents and businesses of the ongoing transition to cleaner, more distributed energy resources. Our staff, along with hundreds of stakeholders, engaged in 7 separate My Power Grid work groups, including dozens of meetings, multiple reports, 10 commission orders, and if anything, next year looks to be even busier as we continue these efforts with a focus on action and implementation. We've also worked to increase transparency and public access, with the Commission's IT team leading efforts to ensure that we could hold Commission meetings, administrative hearings, and cross-examinations virtually, with these virtual meetings significantly increasing opportunities for public participation. The Commission's Executive Business section, meanwhile, launched the long-anticipated Notify Me of Approved Filings button in the MPSC's electronic docketing system, allowing the public the option to receive email updates when new filings are posted in individual cases. In addition, instructions were recently added to make it easier for users to submit public comments on cases before the Commission, and the Commission continues to grow its social media presence through Twitter and LinkedIn, and also recently debuted the MPSC Spotlight, a new monthly newsletter to help provide even more transparency in our work. We've also worked to update our strategic plan and to take meaningful steps in addressing diversity, equity, and inclusion. I want in particular to thank Amy Rittenhouse and Kathy Cole for their leadership of the strategic plan work, and Shatina Jones and Al Freeman for their leadership of the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Initiative. And of course, even in a pandemic and with these new initiatives, we continue to engage in rate cases, rulemakings, and other work. We updated our gas technical standards for the first time since 1993, including a focus on cybersecurity, and also approved gas pipeline projects for DTE and consumers to improve safety and add redundancy to Michigan's natural gas infrastructure, a core recommendation from last year's statewide energy assessment. On the telecom side, we worked to protect customers by ensuring options were available when Talk America Services discontinued phone service in Michigan, addressed service outages following the Edenville Dam failure in the Midland area and a cut cable in Pentwater, and continue to focus on expanding broadband to underserved communities across Michigan. And we have also participated on 9 multi-agency task forces, completed 5 major rate cases, finalized the last 3 integrated resource plans included in the first round of IRPs under the 2016 law, issued the order in the 1 securitization case we decided today, and a partridge in a pear tree. It has been a busy year at the Commission, and as we look to 2021 and the hope for return to something approximating normalcy, it promises to be just as active. But one of my core takeaways from 2020 is just a profound sense of gratitude for the people who make up the Michigan Public Service Commission. Our staff has worked tirelessly this year to make sure our work in overseeing energy and telecommunications has continued uninterrupted. From our customer assistance staff who continue to field calls and complaints from their homes, to those balancing work, children, and remote learning while racing against tight statutory deadlines and rate cases and other proceedings, to those who have stepped forward to lead our diversity, equity, and inclusion work, to the people often behind the scenes working to make sure that our technology platforms function as they should, so we can continue to do the people's business in public, even in a pandemic. I am just tremendously grateful for the work our team has put in this most challenging of years. And it's a testament to our staff that they continue to seek other opportunities to serve. People like Ryan Cook in our Customer Assistance Division, who's volunteering part of his time to assist with COVID contact tracing, and the many individuals across our staff who have adopted families in this holiday season. And so to the staff of the Michigan Public Service Commission, thank you. I'm humbled to work with you and deeply appreciate all that you do and excited for 2021. Commissioners Phillips or Talberg, do you have anything you want to add on the year that was?
I do have just some really quick comments to make. Again, in reference to our staff, incredibly, it has been 9 months, our 39 weeks, our alternatively 279 days since the Commission began to transition to working remotely on Friday, March 13th. And so to our staff at the Commission, I want to say thank you. Thank you for continuing to uphold and strengthen the exceptional reputation and values of the Commission during this immensely challenging, unprecedented, and unpredictable time. Thank you to your families for putting up with stressed internet bandwidth and kitchen table offices. And thank you all for continuing to keep the health and safety of Michigan residents at the forefront of your minds. So please continue to stay well, invest in your families over the holiday break, and I can't wait to reconvene and celebrate our tremendous accomplishments with one another in person this new year. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Phillips.
And I'll just add, Chair Scripps, I really appreciate you taking over the Commission. You've done an exceptional job as chair, and it's been during a really difficult time, and you're a great leader, and the Commission is really fortunate to have you. And I've enjoyed working with both of you.
Thank you. We have now reached the time reserved for members of the public to address the Commission. Again, if you would like to make a comment and have access to the Teams live stream Q&A feature on your computer, please enter your name and your comment, which will then be read aloud to the Commissioners. This feature is available on the right-hand side of the control bar next to the mute button. As a reminder, the Q&A feature is intended for public comments directed to the Commission and not to engage with other participants or respond to their comments. After taking any comments through this feature, we will open up the phone line for those who called into the meeting and would like to address the Commission verbally. If you want to be queued up for verbal comments, please enter your name in the live stream Q&A feature and indicate that you wish to make a verbal comment, but please do not include your written comment, as this will avoid duplication. I will first call on these names in the order received. After hearing from those individuals listed in the Q&A, we will ask if there are any comments from individuals who are on the phone line but not utilizing the online Q&A feature. Please note that you can only make verbal comments by calling into the meeting. When it is your turn to speak, press *6 on your phone to unmute. As a reminder, this public comment period is for Commissioners to listen to comments and concerns and not to answer specific questions. When providing comment, please indicate your name and where you live if you are willing to share so that we have that for our records. And please limit comments to one per person and keep them brief, no longer than 3 minutes, so that we have a chance to hear from all who would like to comment. Ms. Cole, I believe that you are again assisting us in this work. Do we have anybody who has entered comments into the chat feature?
Chair Scripps, at this time, there are no requests to comment in the Q&A feature. I will continue to monitor and advise if any arrive.
Excellent, thank you. Do we have anybody who has indicated in that feature that they would like to make a verbal comment?
Not at this time.
Very good. We will now turn to the phone lines. As a reminder, you can unmute yourself by pressing *6. And I will now see if there's anybody joining us on the phone who wishes to make a public comment. Again, you can unmute by *6. Anybody there that would like to make a public comment? I will see one more time if there's anybody joining us today who would like to make a public comment verbally through the phone line. *6 to unmute. And Ms. Cole, before we close this out, is that anybody entered the chat to provide a comment or asked to speak?
Chair Scripps, all is quiet.
Very good. We will then close the public comment period. I do have a couple of announcements. First, as we wrap up our last commission meeting for the year, I want to stress again that assistance is available for those who are struggling to pay their utility bills. If that includes you, please contact your energy or telecommunications provider to see what programs they have in place for bill assistance or affordable payment plans. And you can also call 211 or visit mi211.org to be connected with assistance providers. Assistance is available. I know there are a number of families and others who are struggling across the state with the pandemic and the economic consequences, and certainly want to make sure that you're connected with the help that's out there. Second, I wanted to highlight that staff has been busy with a number of different reports and other efforts released earlier this week, including final reports and draft rule sets for the Service Quality and Technical Standards My Power Grid work groups, a straw proposal for how to integrate the governor's My Healthy Climate targets into utility integrated resource plans, including the 3 IRPs that are due to be filed in 2021, and a broad-based report on the Commission's ongoing response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Those reports are all publicly available on the Commission's website at michigan.gov/MPSC, and the My Power Grid related reports are also linked directly in the workgroup pages on the Commission's dedicated My Power Grid website at michigan.gov/MyPowerGrid, that's MI Power Grid. I also want to thank the many staff involved in these and other related efforts for their work. Finally, the end of the year also brings with it a couple of notable transitions for the Commission. Heather Canton, who has done an incredible job as the manager of our communications section since it launched nearly a year and a half ago, is leaving at the end of the year for new career opportunities. She has ably led our work to communicate and engage with new audiences, to connect those struggling with available assistance and other resources, and to find ways to better connect the work of the Michigan Public Service Commission with the lives of the people we serve. All told, Heather has dedicated nearly 10 years of her career to the Michigan Public Service Commission, and we wish her the very best of luck in the next chapter of her career. And of course, this is Commissioner Sally Talberg's final meeting as she steps away from the Commission after 7.5 years as a commissioner, including 4.5 as chair, and a total of more than 15 years of service to the state of Michigan. It is, frankly, impossible to fully articulate what she has meant to the work of the Commission, how she has empowered and elevated staff, how she has mentored other employees in ways formal and informal, seen and unseen, and how very much we're going to miss her. I've known Sally for a long time, well before either of us joined the Commission, and in fact, while I was at Michigan, the Michigan Energy Innovation Business Council, I was pleased to recommend to Governor Snyder that he appoint Sally Talberg as commissioner. Of course, she didn't need my help. She was simply the best qualified person for the position and has demonstrated that every single day since she joined the Commission in 2013. When I was appointed, I got a letter from the National Association of Regulatory Utility Commissioners as part of their ambassador program, and was assigned as my mentor, Sally Talberg of the Michigan Public Service Commission. We thought maybe that was overdoing it, so we wrote back to NARUC and asked that I be assigned a different mentor, which I did, and in the end I got two, because she has been a friend and a mentor and a coach, and I am just personally indebted to the attention she's paid to me, like she does with every commissioner she's worked with and every staff member in our building. It's just incredible to be in Sally's orbit and to have her as a guiding star in how to do this work and to do it well. She has an encyclopedic knowledge of regulatory matters. She pays attention to literally every detail. There's not a footnote that escapes her, and she's always learning and pushing and communicating. Her regulatory curiosity is nothing if not contagious, and she makes all of us better at the work that we do. In short, simply the best colleague you could ever hope to have. But what I'll remember most is her deep commitment to the institution. She has at her core just a bedrock of integrity, and she wants the commission to always be reflected in the best light. Her elevation of staff has made us better. Her focus on career development for people at every rank in the commission has made us better, and her focus on process, on making sure that we've got the tools and that the way that we work is the right way, is simply can't be overstated. It's just the little stuff, the stuff that a lot of folks don't pay attention to, that sometimes gets left behind, and organizations suffer when it does. But she has been focused on the organization and brought her love of the commission and its work with her every single day. And that's why I know that even as we prepare to bid her a fond farewell, in important ways, she'll never truly leave. Her leadership is just fundamentally embedded in our culture, and I can't think of a more fitting legacy. In a way, it's like that song from former Commissioner Norm Sari's favorite band, the Eagles, who sang in Hotel California, "You can check out anytime you want, but you can never leave." Commissioner Talberg, I'd say that the commission won't be the same without you, which is undoubtedly true. But you are so much a part of this place that your spirit, that curiosity, and the many, many contributions you've made to Michigan's regulatory framework will always be a part of this place. And I want to just thank you. Commissioner Phillips, I believe you have some thoughts to share as well.
I do, Chair. Commissioner Talberg, I can't thank you enough for graciously welcoming me, my wife, and 2 kids to the MPSC family. If you recall, you did this in part by presenting me with oatmeal raisin cookies, my personal favorite, following my confirmation before the state Senate. And I needed that relaxing moment after sitting up there with the Senate. This year has been one heck of a send-off for your remaining time here at the commission. And though it is unfortunate that 2/3 of my tenure working with you has been solely through the 4 corners of this screen, it has been an absolute pleasure and an honor to serve with you and utilize all of your know-how to navigate us through what has been one of the more taxing, uncertain, and dynamic periods in the commission's history. Your genuine mentorship and thoughtfulness, I know, is appreciated by all within our organization. Your work metabolism is second to none, and I have previously worked for former State Senator Lana Pollock, and I will say this with no hyperbole, you are the epitome of what a leader should aspire to become when taking on this tremendous opportunity and responsibility. Your achievements will have a lasting and positive impact on every gas molecule and every electron that flows to customers in this great state of Michigan. But today is not a day for sadness. Today is instead a day for celebration of your esteemed career at the commission, and we wish you well as you lend your talents to ERCOT and the state of Texas. And with that said, I will cede the floor to Commissioner Talberg.
So I was not expecting this. I thought we were having a party to say all these words. So I was just going to announce that I have officially given my letter of resignation to Governor Whitmer this morning. My last day is December 31st. I am staying in Michigan. I live in Williamston and will continue to reside here. And after the pandemic, traveled to Texas for board meetings with the Electric Reliability Council of Texas. I did not bring tissues. Again, I wasn't prepared for this. So I just value your friendship, your mentorship. I have enjoyed working with the two of you and with your predecessors, Norm Sari, John Quackenbush, Greg White, and Rachel Eubanks, of course. And there's like a special bond that comes with serving on a commission. We deal with a lot of complex, controversial topics and sort of heated issues. And I just value your camaraderie and your commitment to the organization. So it's just been a real pleasure. Thank you. I do feel like this is like a really extended transition. So so thank you as we've made it to this finish line. And just one final note to the staff, they are second to none. I am impressed every day and just learn something new from them, and their dedication, particularly this last year with the pandemic, has been phenomenal to making sure that our commission processes are able to support our work in this remote environment, to making sure that critical infrastructure is sustained and that customers continue to receive reliable energy and telecommunication services. And also, and Commissioner Phillips, you had a huge part in this with looking out for innovative ways to make sure that those in need can get the help they deserve with their energy bills and telecommunications. So with that, again, I really appreciate your kind words and thank you all.
With that, we will conclude today's meeting. The next regular commission meeting is tentatively scheduled for Thursday, January 21st, 2021 at 1:30 p.m. Is there a motion to adjourn, Commissioner Phillips? Doing this basically because I know how much Sally loves it.
I motion to adjourn today's meeting.
Commissioner Talberg.
I second the motion to adjourn today's meeting.
We will now have a roll call vote, one last roll call vote on the motion to adjourn the meeting. Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
Commissioner Talberg?
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote and the meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.